As you all are familiar with the alcohols now, that alcohols are actually prepared by replacing one of the hydrogen of an aliphatic hydrocarbon with an hydroxyl group, right? You know that you know that it is less acidic than water. You know that the bond between C and OH is slightly polar due to difference in the electronegativity, and moreover you are aware of the IUPACs also now. So now we are going to start with the preparation of alcohols, right? So we can prepare alcohols by many methods. As you know that alcohol is serving as an important use in our daily routine. So that means the alcohol preparation is from there are many methods which are involved in the preparation, but I have listed few methods which are included in your syllabus for your learning. That see, look at them, what are the methods actually we can use for the preparation. It is the fermentation of the carbohydrates, it is from the alkenes. From alkenes you can prepare by two methods actually, by acid catalyzed hydration and by hydroboration, right? We can do it by hydrolysis of alkyl halide, we can prepare it by the reduction of carboxylic acid, ketone, aldehyde, and even we can prepare it from the Grignard reagent. So first of all, I would like to make you familiar with these things, like what are actually these the constituents or the raw materials which we are using to prepare alcohols, right? Then we'll take up one by one in detail. Carbohydrates, as you know, is a compound containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. That means they are mainly sugars. So we are going to prepare it by the fermentation of the sugars, you can say in a normal language. Second is from alkenes. As you all know that alkene is a compound which contains a double bond, at least which has one double bond between carbon and carbon. That means it is one of the unsaturated compound. So we can prepare it by two methods. One is acid catalyzed hydration, another is hydroboration. So that means we are going to perform these two kind of reactions particularly on alkenes. That means the chain of the carbon in which minimum one double bond is present. Second is by hydrolysis of alkyl halides. Alkyl halide is something which contain an alkyl group, that means a carbon chain, and an halogen. Can be fluorine, can be chlorine, can be bromine, can be iodine. So alkyl halide is actually formed by the combination, or you can say when a hydrocarbon chain or minimum one carbon that carries an halogen, it becomes an alkyl halide, and we can also call it as haloalkane. One and the same thing, I'll write here. We can also call it as haloalkane, that means alkane with an halogen. We can prepare it by reduction of which compounds? Carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid is that which contain this COOH group. Ketone is something RCOR, this group, and aldehyde is RCHO. So this is COOH, carboxylic acid, CO is ketone, CHO is aldehyde. And moreover, we can prepare it from Grignard reagent. So by Grignard reagent we can prepare it, and what is actually Grignard reagent? It is again an alkyl group, that means a carbon chain, minimum of one carbon is required, MgX. This is something Grignard reagent. So we are going to prepare alcohol from these different methods. So let us take one like each method one by one in detail. So the first method we are starting with is the fermentation. The first method which we are starting is the fermentation of carbohydrates. Now the first thing is that you should know actually what is fermentation. Fermentation is actually a process in which you can say that some complex substances breaks up into a simpler substance, and how they break actually? They break by the action of enzyme, and you know that who is releasing that enzyme? That enzymes are actually released by the microorganisms. So that means we can say that, just write in your copies, fermentation is a process in which there is a breakdown of complex substance into simple by the action of enzymes released by microorganism. This is what is the fermentation, right? And it is carried in anaerobic condition, that means in absence of oxygen, and it requires few days, or you can say 2 to 3 days is required for the product to be formed. So let's see that how we can prepare alcohol by this process. And moreover, I would like to discuss with you that you know that this process is actually very common in breweries and all. As you all know that alcohol are the main constituent of the hard drinks. So in breweries, the alcohols are actually prepared by this method, that is the fermentation. So let's see what actually happens in it. So we take sugarcane juice, which has the sugar, this sucrose. So this is a sugar sucrose C12H22O11. What we do is we extract the juice and we add water and we just heat it slightly, and it forms a thick sweet liquid that is called as molasses. That is called as molasses. So then what happens is this thing, when the microorganism is present, and that microorganism is yeast. It secretes an enzyme, and the enzyme is invertase. It breaks this complex substance into a simple one. And what is that simple substance what we get after the decomposition of sucrose? It is C6H12O6, C6H12O6. As they both are similar in molecular formula, yet they differ in many properties, or you can say yet they differ in their property towards the light, that one rotates the light on the left side and one rotates the light on the right side. That means they are lever or dextrorotatory. It's none of your concern like in this chapter, you are not required to know that. But for this moment you should know that one is glucose and other is fructose. Then what happened, this is not a simpler substance, we can get more simpler substance. Then what happened is, this C6H12O6, yeast secreted another enzyme, that is zymase, which break it into the simplest substance, and that substance is something called as ethanol, and plus along with that we get carbon dioxide. So we were looking like we did this fermentation only for the sake of preparation of alcohol. So here is our alcohol actually. And what is that alcohol? It is ethanol. Right, so what I did actually, I extracted the sugarcane juice, that is, I know that it contains the sugar sucrose. So I'll say that you extract the sugarcane juice, add a water, heat it, you will get a thick sweet liquid, that is something called as molasses. Then what happened is, a microorganism, that is yeast, it secretes an enzyme invertase, which like convert this complex substance into a simple, we get glucose and fructose. And you can use either of, and then the zymase is going to convert them into a simpler substance, that is the alcohol, that is the ethanol, and along with that we get carbon dioxide. So this is what is the fermentation of carbohydrate. And you should know that actually this process take 2 to 3 days to occur. This process actually required 2 to 3 days, and this result in the formation of alcohol. Second is that what we are taking up is let's take the another one, let's say that from alkenes. So how we can prepare it from alkenes? I'll rub it and I'll do it again. So we are starting with the second method that I told you, because we will be taking all these methods one by one. So our second method is from alkenes. And how we can prepare it from alkenes? We can prepare it from alkenes by using two methods. One is the acid catalyzed hydration process, and other is the hydroboration. So let's see that actually how we can prepare it from alkenes by using these two reactions. So let's take up the first one, acid catalyzed hydration. As the name suggests, there must be an acid who is catalyzing the hydration, that means the addition of water, and like to whom you have to add this, we have to add it into alkenes. So let's say that, let's take that, suppose this is our alkene. We know that alkene is a compound which contains minimum one double bond in the chain. We are going to add water, so we add water, and it is catalyzed in presence of acid as the name suggests. So what is going to happen here is, I can write this H2O is HNOH. What happens actually? This as it contains a double bond, one is going to attach to one position and other is going to attach at the other position. So here, because they contain two carbons, so you can attach this HNOH to either of. So what as a result we get? We get this bond actually breaks up. So let's say this H attached to it, bond gets single, and here we have OH. So that means we get CH3, CH2, OH. So this is how we get in this thing. But when we take unsymmetrical alkene, So let's take unsymmetrical alkene because this was a symmetrical alkene. Let's take one unsymmetrical alkene. In this I am adding water again, catalyzed by hydrogen. Now in this case, the double bond is between this and this carbon, right? So that means if you attach this to this place, or you attach this to this place, or you may attach this to this place or this to this place. So actually we follow a rule in this case. Like whenever you encounter an unsymmetrical alkene, you need to follow a rule, that is the Markovnich's rule. What does this rule suggest actually? This rule suggests that whenever you are adding any substance, then a negative part of that substance attached to a carbon across the double bond, which carries the lesser number of hydrogen atom. I repeat, suppose we have that this is positive part and this is negative part. You are going to add this into this, right? So when you are adding, the negative part is going to attach to that carbon which contain less number of hydrogen atom. So as you can see that this addition is going to come across the double bond. So this OH will attach to the carbon atom carrying lesser number of hydrogen atom. So out of this A and B, this is my carbon which carries the less number of hydrogen atom. So addition is going to occur in such a way. So this is OH is going to get attached here because it carries a lesser number of hydrogen atom. Double bond is going to be single because it has already added a substance, and we need to satisfy the valencies also accordingly. And here we have H2, this H attached, so it gets CH3. So in this case you get this thing as 2-propanol. So that means you get 2-degree secondary alcohol in this case. Right. So this actually happens only in case of unsymmetrical alkenes. Otherwise, when you are taking into account the symmetrical alkenes, you don't need to follow any rule actually. You can add a positive and negative part to either of the carbon, as I did in the previous one. But when you have an unsymmetrical alkene, you need to add the negative part to a carbon across the double bond, which carries the lesser number of hydrogen atom, and you are going to add the positive part to one carbon to the carbon of the double bond, which carries maximum number of hydrogen atom. This is what we did in this case. So this is actually the acid catalyzed hydration. So we can prepare it from alkenes by using acid catalyzed hydration. Next method is hydroboration. So let's see that how we can prepare it by the method hydroboration. So again in this case, let's take an example of any alkene. Let's say this as propene. I am going to add borane to it. So borane is this thing, BH, borohydrate is called as BH3. It is actually an electron deficient compound. Just see at the board. See, it carries only 6 electrons. That means the central atom is deficient of electrons, and as we see that it contains a double bond. So that means it can get attached to this position because here are the electrons, and it is actually an electron deficient compound. So look at the board, what is going to happen here. So when this is going to react with this thing, then what is going to happen? Again it is going to show an addition. So it will just break like this, right? So again we will follow a Markovnich's rule. In this case, this H is going to react this thing here, bond gets single, and we have BH2. See, CH3, CH, H added here, it becomes H2, bond gets single, and this remains as CH2, and here we have BH2. Now this reaction doesn't stop at this position. Actually we add more propene to it. So let's add more propene. So what happens? This becomes double actually, and H gets reduced because we need to satisfy the valencies also accordingly. Now again it possesses one H, so we can add one more molecule of propene. So then what happens? It becomes thrice and BH becomes B. Now what we can do is we can add hydrogen peroxide and it will just break the compound. So what we will get? We will get CH3, CH2, CH2OH, that is propanol, and along with that we will get boric acid. So this is what, that is with the help of hydroboration you can prepare an alcohol. What we did actually, I took in this thing, the unsaturated compound, that is an alkene. I add boron hydride to it. When I added, because there was a double bond and it is an electron deficient compound, so it like reacted this side, and what do we get? We get this H actually attached to this CH, it becomes CH2, bond, double bond gets single, and this gets attached to the terminal carbon. Then we add more this thing propene to it, then what happens, it becomes twice and the H became reduced. Then we add more to it, it becomes thrice and it becomes big, because we can add propene up to that point where you can say at the point where the boron has an H, but when the H of the boron is totally exhaust, you cannot add more propene. So here our H of boron are actually exhaust, so we are not going to add propene, but we are going to add the hydrogen peroxide, which is going to just break it, and as a result what we are going to get, we are going to get the propanol and or boric acid. So this is how that from alkenes by acid catalyzed and by hydroboration, this thing you can prepare the alcohols. So this we have already done. This we have done, this I already told you. Now we are going to start with this thing, just look at the board carefully.